والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا وأسوتنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. الحمد لله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بارك الله فيكم. Inshallah, we wanted to talk a little bit today and reflect upon a verse from Surah Al-Kahf. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا والباقيات الصالحات خير عند ربك ثوابا وخير أملا. He says that our wealth and children are the adornment of this life. Wealth and children are the adornment of this life, or the attractions of this life. But good deeds are lasting and are better with your Lord in terms of reward and hope. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what this verse means exactly. And this is one of the verses that someone might read it kind of on the surface and maybe have certain misunderstandings about what this means exactly. المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا. زينة الحياة الدنيا. That our wealth and our children are the adornments of this life, or are the attractions of this life. Now it's common for us to maybe give that a quick read and say that, Allah is saying that that there's acts of worship like praying and giving charity and zakat. That's what's important, and our families are not important, or our children are not important, or even money itself is not important. That's not exactly what Allah is saying. That's not the intention behind the verse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us as human beings that these things, our wealth and our children, are attractions to us, are things that we like in this dunya, and they might take us away from remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or doing good deeds, etc. They might be a means for us to be distracted from our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be just stuck in this dunya and just worried about our money, etc. Or even worse, they could be means to take us away, not just make us in a state of heedlessness, but actually take us away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by being sources of dhunub, being sources of sinfulness, for example. It was very common, now maybe not so common, but in the time of the ancient times of the Arabs, they used to boast about how many children they had and how many wives they had, and I have 20 children or I have 30 children, and it used to be a source of pride and arrogance. Right? Now it's my son's a doctor, or my son's this and my son's that. That's maybe we've changed it a little bit. The same thing with wealth, we still have that. I have this much in the bank, I own this many stocks, I own this many cars, I own this many homes, right? We boast by our wealth, and we think that makes us special. We think that makes us someone in this life. And Allah is telling us that no, this is not what makes you someone in this life. This is just some attraction in this dunya. But the real thing which lasts is al-baqiyat al-salihat. And the Mufassireen have mentioned what that means, the righteous deeds which last with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's a number of reports that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that the baqiyat al-salihat are La ilaha illallah, walhamdulillah, wa subhanallah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. These adhkar that we know, these are baqiyat al-salihat. And that doesn't mean that those are the only things that are righteous and that will remain in the next life. But these are some of the most rewarding. They're so easy to say on the tongue, and yet they have so much blessing that comes with them. But in reality, everything that we do in this life that's for the sake of Allah will remain with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the Day of Judgment. Everything we do for His sake will be in our scales on the Day of Judgment. And that's actually why I wanted to highlight this verse, because maybe we'll misunderstand it. That even includes what? Two things. That even includes al-mal wal-banun. That even includes al-mal wal-banun. What do I mean by that? If you have a lot of money and you spend that for the sake of Allah, if you spend that for building houses of worship, if you spend that for Islamic schools, if you spend that fi sabilillah, Won't that last with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? As long as your intention is correct, you will find that on the day of judgment amongst your hasanat. So we wouldn't say that money was wasteful or that money was just zinatul hayat al-dunya, that it was just some worldly distraction. Rather, that money was a vehicle, was a means for you to get to Jannah, was a means for you to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The same thing, your children, in the same way your children, if you're spending your time to educate them, to teach them the religion, to teach them to be good people, teach them to stand up for justice, to teach them how to live in this life as good believers, this is baqiyat al-salihat. We wouldn't say, no, that's zinatul hayat al-dunya. No, that's not what it means. All the time we spend with our families and our children, trying to teach them to be good people, to teach them to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to love His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and to love this religion and to be good people and to change this world for the better. This is baqiyat al-salihat. We wouldn't call this zinatul hayat al-dunya. Right? So we have to understand the verse in the context of the whole religion, of the Quran in general. So at the end of the verse, he says, عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ ثَوَابًا وَخَيْرٌ أَمَلًا. That it's better for you with your Lord in terms of reward, the hasanat you'll get, and hope. Why does he mention hope? Because the human being, when we get old, we hope for two things. That our money will take care of us when we're old, or if not our money, our children. Right? You get old, you get retirement, you need someone to take care of you. Inshallah, one of my sons or one of my daughters, one of my offspring, they'll be a good son or be a good daughter and they'll take care of me when I'm old. Or if not, okay, I put away 100,000 or 200,000 or whatever in my retirement account. That's my hope for when I'm old and feeble and no one can take care of me. That's my hope in this dunya, that those things will take care of me. So Allah is saying, the baqiyat al-salihat, this is the best hope. The righteousness we do in this life, that's the real hope with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We'll stand in front of Allah and all we can hope for is His mercy, and we say, Allah, we tried. We did something, we gave for your sake, we built a masajid, we tried to raise our family as Muslims, we tried this for your sake and we hope. This is the baqiyat al-salihat. So inshallah, that's all I have to say for today, inshallah. May Allah bless you all and your families and your jobs, and may Allah accept everything you're doing in this month. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم. السلام عليكم.